Hey guys, Cdrama Invasion here. Welcome back to another video. I can't believe June is already done. Like, tell me we didn't just do this like a week ago. But I'm back for the wrap up that we have at the end of every month where I talk to you about all the dramas I watched. And surprisingly, this has been like maybe the best month I had. And honestly, it's probably because of Legend of Zanghai. And I did do a full review on that. So this is more of an overview of my thoughts, summary of it. And it's not going into details or spoilers or any of that. But if you want to see that, I definitely recommend you check it out. I went through all my emotions there, from the main characters, the side characters, to the romance. But we're going to start in order that I completed. So first one we mentioned last month. So this is Dominion and Devotion. And for the most part, I still stand by this. This is a 24 episode revenge short drama. It is one of the better short dramas. I feel like the quality isn't as noticeable. In a lot of these dramas, you can tell the budget isn't the best, but I still think it's a good drama to watch. Except I do have to warn you, like, the ending isn't perfect, and I liked everything until that last episode. But it's about basically the female lead being the crown prince, or basically the emperor, and she's used and manipulated by this villain who just thinks she's easily manipulated, and that's why he chooses her. And all of her brothers end up passing away, and he's very scheming, he's evil, and the male lead works for him as his godson. But eventually they work together and they try to scheme against the villain and just, make a peaceful era. So politics wise, I don't think, obviously, compared to like Zanghai, any of those, you're not going to get that quality of writing, but there were a lot of good twists here. Very good, like, pacing, and we also had amazing, like, steamy chemistry between them, and it didn't feel cheap. So I did enjoy that. The only thing I would have to say is, yeah, the ending. It was a little bit rushed in my opinion, and I felt like it could have been written better. I didn't understand why they chose to do like a couple of decisions. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Watch it yourself. It is only 15 minutes an episode, so you'll definitely be able to binge watch it. It's on YouTube as well. Then the next drama I watched was Legend of Zanghai, and you already know how much I adore this drama. I think this is one of the best, if not the best, Xiaojian drama that he's ever had. I obviously love The Untamed, that's how we discovered him, but I was craving this type of like darker revenge political story, and honestly, everything from the writing of the main character to the side characters, everything makes sense, and thank goodness it felt like a true S+ quality drama. The trailers weren't just like showing us the best pieces of the drama, and a lot of times that's the case, unfortunately. So I loved it. I loved every second. I think there was a lot of good like twists thrown in there. We also had some fun moments with him, and female leading character Zhang Jingyi did awesome, and they were like a very natural pair romance wise. I felt like the way they teased it was slow burn enough, and all of the characters has a important role to play to the story and to the male lead's development. I do have to say, for some people, it is more of a slow burn if you're not used to like heavy political drama, and that's what it is. It is a story of revenge, and it does take long to get there. Like, we see him as a child, and then we also see him train and slowly climb the ladder. But I feel like it was more fulfilling that way. It was good where I was able to like really understand all of the side characters and what role they have to play. So I really liked it. Villain is burnt in my mind. Like, there's a bunch of these scenes that are just so powerful. Same with Xiaojian. The scene where he's like standing in front of the tomb was crazy, and that was when I fell in love. So I think that was around episode like 6 to 8. That was a 10 out of 10. Honestly, acting wise, he showed such a strong like range of emotions, from like happiness, anger, suppression of anger. Those were so good. Like, very tense standoffs, and just moments where he's in a room with the people that his family, and he's just putting on a smiling face, being pretending to be like obedient and just making sure they have their guard down. What I liked about it is, well, personally for me, a lot of comments online, critiques are saying like everything went smoothly for him. And I'm like, smoothly where? Okay. Smoothly where? Because maybe on the surface, but he does have setbacks and he does have a lot of emotional moments. For me, I thought like every time his plans went well, there's something else that he's missing. There's someone else introduced or some new problem, but it didn't feel random, which I liked. Like they did a good job building it. So I do recommend to you like sit through it if you're not in love with the pacing yet. It will definitely get to you around episode 8 or so. I also loved the cinematography here. I loved those like big, beautiful wide shots of the court. It was just so nice and it felt grandiose. It also did a great job with balancing the consequences. I feel like a lot of the drama happened through conversations and just moments where you don't know how it's going to go. The unpredictability of it is less of a, will he get his revenge or will he not? But it's more of a, like, how's he going to survive this, like, interaction right now? Because there's just so many moments where the villain is actually very suspicious of him, or it just seems larger than life sometimes, where it's just him, his little squad of people, and he didn't have that many allies. So I personally don't find it like he had plot armor. Like I never felt that way. The romance, it's probably one of my favorite ones. I did love, like, there's similar dramas that are more male centric, right? And that's fine, but okay, I'm just gonna say Joy of Life because that's the only one I can think of right now. But dramas like that, there's like obviously politics, it's well written, it's similar in terms of like quality production, but when it comes to the romance and the writing for the characters of the female lead, I felt like a lot of these dramas kind of forget about the female lead or kind of forget about the love interest if you're just focusing all of your skills on the main character, but that wasn't the case here. So thank goodness. She is somebody that is his equal in my mind. He's obviously smart, intelligent, playing 4D chess, but she was a support system for him, and she also had, like, she's the reason why he had this network of information, you know. And I loved their conflict. I loved the acting. Oh my gosh, so good. There's so many beautiful scenes with them. And I also liked that she brought some playful, soft sides to him to life as well. So all around, I give this 10 out of 10. I forgot to mention, like, a Dominion Devotion. I'll give that one like a solid 8. Then I took a break from C dramas and I decided to catch up on K dramas. I asked you guys for reviews, but sometimes I just go through my drama list. Although a lot of reviews are exaggerated, I do find like some dramas that they have up there are worth having up there. So the one I was most interested to watch was Study Group because it kind of reminds me of Weak Hero Class, except less dark. And that's kind of what it was. I would say if you're not a fan of like cartoony humor, you might not love this, but do give it 2 episodes. I feel like it's so good. This is a delinquent friendship school drama. Think of Weak Hero Class, but make it more like superpower crazy. Make it feel like something with supernatural powers almost, because that's how some of these fights are. They feel like video games and it's so fun. But at the same time, there are gory moments in terms of like them fighting each other, and I really enjoyed it though. So this only has 10 episodes. I just think the main character is one of the cutest and like one-track minded characters ever. And he goes to this school because he sucks at studying, but that's all he wants to do. But he's actually not the kid they bully. It's not your typical underdog story, because around episode like 2, you really find out like this man is strong and he's in this school where people are fighting to rank up, but he just wants to study. Like he actually just wants to study. That's all he wants to do, but he's in a delinquent school. So what happens is there's gang fights, there's people bullying his friends, and he slowly has to like collect enough people, I think 5 people, make a club. Like, this man can probably become a professional MMA fighter. That's how good he is. But he's like, no, the only passion I have is to study, and I just want to get to college. Like, I just want to survive high school. And people are not letting me do that because in this place, nobody's taking this seriously. And it's really funny because he has this thing where he just looks into your eyes and he can kind of tell like what type of person you are. So that's how he meets his first friend, where he looks at him and he's like, I swear to God, you like studying just as much as I do, but in this school, like, it's not like he just wants to fit in, you know? And it's not something like anybody cares about because it's all about fighting. And the more strong you are, it's like survival of the fittest, you know? And nobody really cares, but he makes them care. And that's nice. It's nice to have things like a drama where it's like comedy, action, but it's really sweet as well to see him just have this passion and just go for it despite everyone forcing him to play the game. He's not trying to beat people up, but he will if it means he can establish a study group. And this is nice. There's also this teacher character, which she knew him from a past school, and she was very, very intelligent, but she decides to drop everything because she wants to make a difference. And there's moments where I was legit scared for her. These people are crazy. And honestly, she was getting underpaid and everything, but she was only doing it from the goodness of her heart. And obviously, she becomes like almost a mother figure, or like she's like the proper teacher to the group, like a guardian. It was nice, but this girl was real brave and I couldn't. I liked her though because she stood on business despite not knowing how to fight, and in the school where everybody can legit get hurt. It just shows like even in a tough environment, there will be like bad apples, but there's also going to be good ones. And just because they're in the situation where everybody's just calling them trash doesn't mean that they don't have what it takes. There's also some plot lines eventually where we do get to see the bigger picture of how the school is ran, obviously by violence, but there was a reason why it was this way. And nobody tried to like challenge the system for so long. So yeah, you do have the same themes of like oppression and just bullying, but I thought it was done in a refreshing way. So honestly, 10 out of 10. Then I just finished watching Feud this morning, and Feud is a drama that is just tried and true Shensha. I wasn't looking forward to it that much. I love Bailu, but there's just something about her Moonlight Mystique, and then this, like, I wasn't against it at all, but I did have Shensha fatigue, so I was looking forward to it, but it wasn't like the top of my list like Zanghai was. So I did watch it, and I think because I went in with zero expectations at all, I didn't try to compare it to Moonlight Mystique too much because, yeah, there's angst in it, but it is a different story, and it is more romance based. So if you like angsty romance and it's less of like side characters, majority of this drama is just about the female lead and male lead story. Not a lot of screen time for the secondary characters until like the later, like last like 7 episodes. Even though it's there, I didn't feel like that it really mattered, honestly. So that was fun. And as much as I like that, like, yes, that makes it unique. It also, the flip side is like, I just felt like some of these side characters were just there, you know, like they were not well written at all. And same with the male lead. I felt like they did a good job with the female lead. They threw a lot of plot twists here and there, and that had me hooked from beginning to end though. So 32 episodes, very, very quick watch because honestly, I was feeling like it's all right. I get it. Like, I get why people are obsessed. It's Bailu, obviously, and it is beautiful. Like, so many costume changes. If you guys liked the costumes in Moonlight Mystique, like, this is similar where they're constantly changing costumes, and I like that. I do. It is a visual feast for the eyes, but some people might not love the flashbacks. I felt that way until they did something fun with it. So they don't make it feel like it's forever. They do cut like, it would be like 3 to 4 episodes of flashback, and then we'll get a present perspective, and then we'll go back sometimes. And they did it in a good way that there were still twists, you know. But if you look too closely, obviously there's going to be some holes in there. But if you're just kind of like looking for something fun to watch, not really a lot of stakes, just along for the ride, this felt like that. It did have me hooked just because the way they switched up the storytelling was fun. And yeah, you do have like good versus evil, but at the end of the day, it's better because they are kind of the top dogs, okay? They're both very strong, very powerful individuals, and that just makes it fun because then you get to really dig into their backstory and not have to care about the world that much. I don't know if you guys want me to do a full review of this because it will be mostly the same thing. I'll just discuss spoilers a little bit more, but let me know if you want that or if you're just okay with this. But I think like there were some points later on that second half is always the one that writers kind of struggle with. So it's kind of like that. But the second I got annoyed and I thought, oh my gosh, she deserves so much better, he kind of redeemed himself, but I can feel it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's the actor that's not that charismatic compared to Bailu's character. Maybe it's just we get more time with her, we're more in her perspective, and that's why I felt a little bit disconnected with him. It might be me, but I didn't feel that like engaged in the story compared to other characters that she worked with in the past, like other male leads. I don't know. Maybe they just put all of their eggs in her basket when it comes to writing. And then later on, I felt different about him. But for the first half, I was just like, this is fun, but like, I'm definitely here for the girly. Like, I'm here for her. And if he happens to perish, it's okay. Like, I felt like that. You know, just lukewarm. And I don't know. In a romance, I expect better writing for both of the characters. So I didn't feel that here, unfortunately. Maybe it's because it's only 32 episodes, and this type of story, especially the ending, I felt like the last big battle and all of that could have been stretched out to at least like 36, a couple more episodes. Yeah, it was like love, hate, enemies to lovers, like very much enemies to lovers. They both did horrible things to each other, but honestly, I was clapping when she did that to him, even though, you know, eventually we know how it's going to end. We know that they will love each other and make up, all of that. So it wasn't about that. It was more about how they presented it, and you know, it kept you on your toes, which is fun. Second male lead side characters, I'm trying to even think about them, and I don't remember much of them having a big impact besides like second male lead. For the most part, my problem is why add all these secondary characters if you're just not even going to make them feel like real characters. They really felt like very two-dimensional, you know, like the dude that has a crush on her, and yeah, he's just the sad boy. Like, he was just the nice, sad love interest that knew he cannot compare. And that was kind of his whole arc. There was a little bit more to the end that made him essential to the story, I guess. But I was like, that's it. That's it. We also had like some disciples from the sect that she grew up in, but with them as well, I felt the same thing. Like, they were just there to like back her up or just be like the yes men. So that's how I felt, honestly. I would still give it, honestly, 7.5. So last ones are the ones I just started currently watching and just like catching you guys up on things you'll probably see in the next video, so next month. First is 7 Relics of Ill Omen. Started this on YouTube randomly, was so much fun, but I can tell like the budget is not perfect. It's not the greatest like adventure drama I've seen. It's none of that. It's just a good fun time. And like, if you like some classic murder mystery with some supernatural elements, this is that. And as the title suggests, there will be evil artifacts, and those are like the cases they're going to solve. So it starts with her going to the city, and she meets the male lead, but he didn't really announce like who he is or anything. He's more mysterious. Male lead is mysterious. She goes to this group to follow this lead because she works at this bar, and her manager, her boss, told her Can you follow this lead? It's basically her sister that passed away a long time ago in a very weird manner. And they're like, okay, we got a serial unaliver on our hands and it's been a cold case, but the only witness is saying like there's some voodoo cuckoo involved, and everybody's like, no way, no way. The detective that was there is like, I don't trust that, but she's like, something about this doesn't seem right. And eventually they will get to like other creepy cases that will lead them to that one. Song Wei Long, Liu Hao Sun. This is my first drama with her that I watched, and she is just so adorable. She's cute in this one. Their romance, a lot of people said it doesn't work for them. It feels a little bit staged. It doesn't feel that organic. I'll give you that. Like the flirting and everything is a little bit cheesy, but you know, it's cute. I'll take it. It's a summer. It's the summer, you know. I'll take it. It's fine. I have not seen Song Wei Long in a modern romance for a very long time, since Go Ahead, so this is fun. And he looks great in here. And yeah, there's like some action moments, but there is something that's giving Teen Wolf about this. You know, it's not high quality, but it's not that bad. It is giving like the CW type of shows, and that's not a bad thing because like it does have that addictive vibe to it. Some a bit of like flirting, banter. Oh, also Ao Rui Peng is in it, so I'm here for the vibes. I'm here for the cast. So far I'll give it a also 7.5 out of 10, but I'm like halfway through almost. This has 24 episodes, so I'm like 11. Then the one that I started, but I don't know if I'll continue yet. It's Revenged Love. Now this was one that was like popular on my drama list. I scrolled after watching Feud and I was like, what's popping right now? I need something before I was like, give me something new, give me something fresh. And I was like, wait, this is a BL. So this is a Chinese BL that is airing on Viki, which is like an international platform. I don't even know. Don't even ask me what's going on with the CBL stuff. Like censorship has lessened, but not a lot of dramas have came out. So I don't know. If you know, let me know. But I just wanted to watch it to see like what it's about, and like people were giving it very high ratings, and I was wondering, is it because we're just thirsty for CBLs because of the ban? Like, is that what's happening, or is it actually good? And I still don't know what to say after watching episode 1. I think there's potential for sure. And it doesn't feel super cringy because we're given like 40 minutes an episode and not like 15, which is great news, but I'll have to keep you guys posted. I'll give you guys like a little summary. This is, I believe, based off of Falling in Love with My Rival, a Chinese adaptation. So this is a rich man, a poor man, and we have this male lead who's dumped by his girlfriend to date the rich boys, and she's been dating the kind of seedy people. So in episode 2, we get a little bit more direction. It does feel like cheesy, but I'm just along for the ride, honestly. It's nothing too crazy in terms of writing, but I'm not going to compare it to Thai BLs, which has so much experience in like playing with different genres and having good and unique storytelling. So I'm not really going to compare it. We're just going to see where it goes. But right now, it's like the main character is trying to get revenge by becoming closer to the like rich boy who loves his snakes, and he's like doing everything he can, doing research to show up at his basketball court, like make him intrigued. And the main character is kind of just plotting, but it's not incredibly like smart or well done. He's like, let me just seduce him, and that's how I'm gonna get revenge, because I don't know if his plan is like I'm gonna break his heart or I'm just gonna get info to get closer to my girlfriend. And we'll see where that goes and how it will come together. But there are like scenes with him and snakes and some underground people that might come into play, like side characters. Maybe we'll get some action involved, but right now it's just up in the air for me. Not sure if I'll complete it, but I do want to see like where it goes. If I do complete it or drop it, like you'll see me talk about it in more detail in next month's wrap up. Also, I have not watched any BLs, period. So this year, if you have any recommendations that is not cringy and it's actually really like good writing, then let me know, because unfortunately a lot of Thai BLs that I started is either like the pacing is too quick, they're already hooking up, I'm not a fan of that, or the writing's kind of crap. So, or like it's really cringe. So if you have any recommendations, do let me know. Most anticipated for like the end of the month to come out is A Dream Within a Dream. Oh my gosh, Liu Yuning. It's not just that, it's the concept of it is something I crave so badly. It's about a scriptwriter that falls into her script. She's the heroine, but she's just trying to run away from the male lead. But unfortunately, he's this villain character, and they seem to be like entangled in this web together. So it's the classic like tropes that allows you to bring some modern humor to it. Seeing a modern girl react to these funny situations is always a blast for me. And it's a trope I'll eat up every time, but I'm glad we're getting higher budget ones with good actors. A lot of these plots where they're like time traveling or like falling into a script, a game or whatever, is usually like for the shorter web series, and I really miss it. So I'm glad that like Love Game and Eastern Fantasy kind of brought that genre back to life. And yeah, I can't wait for more to be made. I love me a good rom-com with a splash of fantasy. There is also this other drama rumor to air, and it's the one with, I think it's called The Princess Gambit, and it's the one with Liu Shuiyi and Meng Zhiyi. It's supposed to be like misunderstandings to lovers, and I think it's also like a arranged marriage or marriage of convenience thing. So that's fun. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on any of these dramas, your ratings. Yeah, and if you agree, if you disagree, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.